The light promised me everything. The darkness delivered. Flint's name is barely a whisper in galactic history, a cautionary tale, not a legend. He dreamed of the Jedi, but grief and anger led him elsewhere. While the galaxy watched Skywalker and Vader, Flint's tragedy unfolded in the shadows. He was shaped by loss, seeking purpose in all the wrong places. What if someone had seen his pain? History doesn't answer. Flint's fall was slow, a descent fueled by vengeance and heartbreak. His story is a reminder, not every Force-sensitive becomes a hero. Sometimes the galaxy forgets those left behind. Flint grew up on Belderone, a world scarred by industry and overshadowed by the cold grip of the Empire. It was a world of sprawling factories that choked the sky with smoke and fading hope, where dreams were often crushed beneath the weight of endless labor. The air itself seemed thick with despair. His father, a Jedi Knight, a noble warrior of the Republic, died a hero in the Clone Wars, fighting for a cause long since betrayed. He left behind only fragmented stories of bravery and a faint, lingering sense of the Force within Flint, a connection he barely understood but desperately yearned to explore. The Empire's iron-fisted rise turned his already bleak home into a prison, tightening its grip on every aspect of life, snuffing out any remaining embers of freedom. Flint's dreams, filled with visions of heroism and justice, became his only escape from the grim reality that surrounded him. He would spend hours gazing at the stars, imagining a different life. He toiled on Imperial war machine assembly lines, pouring his sweat and resentment into every bolt and circuit, hating every moment of his servitude. Still, despite the oppressive atmosphere, he stubbornly clung to the seemingly impossible fantasy of one day becoming a Jedi, just like his father. He secretly practiced the ancient Jedi forms, wielding a heavy hydrospanner as if it were a lightsaber, fueled by nothing but hope and whispered memories. Then, like a beacon in the darkness, Luke Skywalker arrived on Belderone. He was living proof that the legends of the Jedi, the stories his father had told, were not just fairy tales but a tangible reality. Flint, emboldened by this revelation, begged Skywalker to be trained, desperate to find purpose and meaning in a life that had felt utterly devoid of both. He offered his unwavering loyalty, his very life, to the Jedi cause, willing to sacrifice everything for the chance to follow in his father's footsteps. For Flint, this encounter with Skywalker was hope's last stand, a desperate gamble for a future he could barely dare to imagine. It was a crossroads, a pivotal moment from which there would be no turning back, regardless of the path he chose. Luke witnessed Flint's profound pain and desperation, a cry for help echoing in the Force, but he deemed it too dangerous to intervene directly. Flint's emotions were too raw, a volatile mix of fear and anger. His desperate plea for salvation was met with regretful denial, not the rescue he so desperately craved. The insidious eyes of the Empire, ever watchful, noticed Flint's brief contact with Luke and swiftly struck back with brutal efficiency. Star destroyers descended from the heavens, raining fire and destruction upon his world. Flint's home was reduced to smoldering ruins, and his beloved mother was tragically killed in the onslaught. The unbearable grief twisted into a consuming rage, a burning desire for vengeance. The Jedi, who he believed could save him, had rejected him, and the merciless Empire had utterly ruined his life. Amidst the desolate ruins, a figure of immense power and darkness appeared. Darth Vader. He extended a hand, offering power beyond measure but not offering any true promises of solace or peace. Vader, sensing the depth of Flint's anger and despair, offered him a place at his side, a chance for retribution. Flint, utterly broken and consumed by desperation, made the fateful decision to accept Vader's offer. In that pivotal moment he irrevocably chose the shadow, embracing the darkness that beckoned. The light of hope had abandoned him, leaving him vulnerable to the darkness, and the seductive allure of the dark side welcomed him with open arms, promising power and revenge. Flint's tragic fate was now irrevocably sealed, forever bound to the dark side of the Force. Vader's training was merciless: pain, anger, and isolation. Flint's grief became his weapon, his power forged in suffering. He clashed with Lumia, another of Vader's secret apprentices. Their rivalry drove Flint deeper into darkness. Then, Endor the Emperor and Vader fell, leaving Flint masterless. Lost, he returned to Belderone, ruling as a Dark Lord over ruins. He imposed order through fear, believing he was protecting his people. But his rule was hollow, haunted by loss. Flint became a ghost, trapped by the choices he'd made. The boy who dreamed of light was gone. Years later, after much soul-searching and a long journey, Luke returned to Belderone. He had heard whispers, rumors of a changed man, a flicker of light in the overwhelming darkness. He was seeking not a monster consumed by darkness, but a broken man, a victim of circumstance and manipulation, lost in the shadows of his past. Their duel was fierce, a clash of ideologies as much as a battle of skill. The air crackled with energy as their lightsabers met. But as they fought, Luke sensed sorrow, a deep-seated pain, not the cold, unfeeling grip of true evil. He saw a flicker of the man Flint once was. An old friend's plea, a desperate cry for redemption finally broke through Flint's defenses. He surrendered, overcome by the weight of his regret and the realization of the path he had chosen. Flint renounced the dark side, turning his back on the power he had craved. He dedicated himself to rebuilding Belderone, brick by painstaking brick, hoping to atone for his sins. He used the Force to heal the wounded, to mend the broken, to nurture life, not to inflict harm and destruction. He was seeking redemption for his past actions, not glory or recognition for his newfound path. He sought only to make amends, but the fragile peace he had found was destined to be brief, a fleeting moment of respite in a galaxy consumed by conflict. Lumia, now the Dark Lady of the Sith, a formidable and ruthless warrior, saw Flint's change of heart as a personal betrayal, a weakness to be exploited. She found him in a peaceful field, far from the chaos of battle, tending to the land. And there, she ended his life quietly, extinguishing the light he had rekindled. Flint's story ended not with a triumphant victory, but with a somber lesson, a stark reminder of the ever-present darkness. Pain, if left unchecked, can twist even the noblest of destinies, leading down paths of destruction and despair. But even those who are lost in the deepest darkness can find a second chance, a glimmer of hope for redemption. His legacy serves as both a warning against the seductive power of the dark side, and a beacon of hope for those who seek to break free from its grasp. It is a testament to the enduring power of the Force, and a reminder that no one, no matter how far they have fallen, is ever truly forgotten.